You know that feeling that you get when something really horrible happens, and after it happens, you sit there and think to yourself, it cannot possibly get any worse than this, right? And then something happens that is even worse than what originally happened. Yeah, because that is where we're at right now. For those of you that haven't been keeping up to date with what's going on, yesterday I did a video titled "The End of the Entire Gacha Genre" because of this ridiculous change that Unity was doing to their engine. I urge you to, if you haven't already, go ahead, take a look at that video. We cover everything that is going on, but the TLDR or TLDW is they are essentially going to be forcing companies to pay per download and based off of how much money they're earning after they cross a certain threshold. This means that in certain cases, studios like Kudo Game, who only managed to make $500,000 to $800,000 globally, might be forced to pay half of that to Unity just so they can continue to develop their game, so they can continue to keep their game online. And games that earn significantly more and that actually have a lot more downloads are going to be paying millions or tens of millions of dollars. And players, studios, everyone is absolutely losing their minds. And that is completely warranted and completely valid. As of the last several hours, however, an update has been made. Unity will quietly waive controversial fees if the developers switch to its ad monetization service. They just want to kill AppLovin. A fresh report into Unity's hugely controversial decision to start charging developers when their games are downloaded has thrown fresh light on the situation. Mobile gamer sources say Unity has already offered some studios a 100% fee waiver if they switch over to Unity's own level play ad platform. The report quotes industry consultants that say this move is an attempt to destroy Unity's main competitor in this field, AppLovin. Googling the level play ad platform opens up a website that essentially goes on to confirm that ads will be placed in video games. These ads might obscure the game entirely. They might force you to watch an ad. They might force you to click something. This is absolutely horrible. I don't know if the games, the studios are gonna have control over what ads are gonna be displayed, but essentially from what I gather from this, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is essentially a platform, a marketplace that will sell advertising space within the game, within the games that they're going to allow the studios to waive the fees from. So as an example here, you might be playing Genshin Impact, you might be doing your dailies, and a pop-up appears and you're forced to watch a 30-second ad before you can continue playing. You're doing Punishing Grey Raven at 29 minutes 39 seconds, you're in the middle of a battle, and then 31 seconds later at the 30-minute mark an ad pops up that forces you to click something that completely stops your game for an entire minute and you can't skip it. That is essentially what I understand this ad platform to be. The Level Play suite of tools allows you to control every aspect of your monetization strategy, via in-game ads in Unity games for smartphones, via various types of ads, ad testing, and analytics available to serve up commercial content most likely to earn money. So yeah, in-game ads. They're going to be games that the ads that appear once you are in the game and you are actively playing your game. This puts the whole runtime fee announcement in the mediation war spotlight. Consultant this guy said, Unity is saying migrate to level play or you'll need to pay a shit ton of money. So basically what they're trying to do here is force you to display their ads to earn them money so you don't have to pay more money. They're trying to force advertisements into games because ads aren't bad enough on YouTube. Ads aren't bad enough on Twitch. Ads aren't... What the fuck are they thinking? What? For those smaller developers, there is no other option but to migrate to level play mediation to save the companies. The rest are already thinking about other game development engines. Unity makes an oblique reference to this plan in a blog post on the controversial fees with a note that qualifying customers may be eligible for credits toward the Unity runtime fee based on the adoption of Unity services beyond the editor, such as Unity Gaming Services or Unity Level Play Mediation for mobile ad-supported games. Developers reading the blog post are then encouraged to please reach out to your account manager to learn more. The move puts into context the emphasis Unity places on its use within smartphone gaming compared to the audience for Unity games on PC and console. Unity is yet to respond to this report. Unity announced its plan to charge game developers every time their titles are downloaded by players early this week, prompting a wave of anger and confusion, which we covered in the video that I did just yesterday. In the last 24 hours, Slay the Spire studio Megacrit said it will cut ties with Unity and restart its game. So this is actually not the only instance of this. There have been numerous studios that have confirmed they're going to be moving away from Unity. Dozens, hundreds. They're amassing in numbers that I did not anticipate initially. This is all happening within a 24-hour period. And I know that a lot of the studios that are releasing press releases, that are releasing statements, are probably not as large as some of the bigger studios out there. Like there are a lot of gacha games. Blue Archive uses Unity. Genshin Impact uses Unity along with Honkai Star Rail. Like these are studios that need to be taking a stand. They need to be public in their dissatisfaction with what is going on, because if the bigger companies remain quiet, then this might go through. And that's not what we want to happen. The bigger companies need to voice their opinions, and they need to let Unity know none of this is okay. We do not want advertisements in our games. I don't want to have a 30-second, 60-second, 90-second unskippable ad playing every 30 minutes when I'm doing something in a video game that I'm playing. That sounds absolutely horrifying. That should never be acceptable. You should never be forced to sit through an ad. You should never be forced to close an ad. You should never be forced to watch an ad in any capacity in a video game. Sure, go ahead, watch ads ahead of YouTube videos. I fully support that. I do YouTube, so I understand the use of ads ahead of videos. I personally watch the ad. Well, I let the ads play. I don't necessarily watch the ads, but I let them play because I am more than happy supporting the other content creators that I watch. I'm forced to watch them on Twitch, but I mean, I understand the need for it. What I don't understand is the need for Unity to monetize players of games that they don't operate and they have no control over. Unity should not be able to monetize players of Genshin Impact, of Punishing Grey Raven, of Azure Lane, of every other game out there that uses Unity as an engine. That just sounds absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that they are trying to push this across, they're selling this as a positive alternative. You don't want to have to pay millions of dollars? No problem. Just put our ads in your game. Yeah, that'll solve everything. Fuck no. No. Now let's go ahead and see what Reddit has to say about this. But before we do, I want to take a moment here to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon who allow for me to continue to do videos like this every single day, whether they're positive or negative or about absolutely ridiculous topics like this. Unity will quietly waive controversial fees if developers switch to its ad monetization service. Who the fuck wants to buy a game with ads in it? Truth. Imagine seeing ads in a gacha game, more than their own packs already. Again, truth. We're supporting the studios themselves by making purchases in game. We don't need to then support Unity and their horrible decisions by watching their ads. I'd quit Genshin on the spot. Yeah, a lot of people would. Depending on market share, this could be considered a monopolistic practice and be illegal. Using punitive terms on one relationship to force out a competitor in another space is exactly what the government went after Microsoft for. I remember that happening. And just like that, the Unreal Engine gains more popularity and more power to it. The Genshin Impact Unreal Engine port, dude, that would be sublime to have. To me, this sounds like it was always a real plan and the current controversy exists just to make this also terrible decision seem more palatable. Guy's a master bullshit salesman. And you know what? That is actually true. Typically, game studios, companies, they like to release a ridiculous idea and then release an alternative that is less ridiculous. That is a little bit more within the realm of possibility. One that isn't as penalizing, one that isn't necessarily as bad. And players are much more receptive of that. But if that was the original idea, the original concept, players would have been strongly against it. So in this instance, they are proposing this as a great alternative when it's not. The CEO negotiates like a gangster. If I see an ad in a PC game, I'm uninstalling. So that's the real plan. I don't know. This is a bad idea. I would not accept either of these. Honestly, if I was forced to sit through ads in a gacha game, I just wouldn't play the gacha game. It's really that simple. There are alternatives out there to gacha games that would have actual ads in them. They might not necessarily be as good, but if they're built on other engines, I mean, the quality of said games might increase significantly if they also increase in popularity due to the mass exodus of players that are playing gacha games built on Unity. So, I mean, it might be a net positive for Unreal Engine powered games or games that are built in things that are just not Unity. I don't know. Either way, this is a ridiculous topic, ridiculous subject, and I'm curious to hear what the big gacha studios are thinking. If they're thinking of changing to another engine, or if they're just going to take this and take a hit of 20% of their income, 40% of their monthly annual income, because I wouldn't. But then that's just me. Now, if this is not something you're interested in, absolutely no problem. I got you covered 2 different videos on screen right now that might be more interest to you.